opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The mission fires back at FTX US. And Senate President says rape is rape. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Chester Robards. I'm filling in for Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. November 24th, 2022, Thanksgiving Day for all the Americans. Got a nice little holiday there. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, and I'm Chester Robards. In a moment, you will be joining me. No co-host today. And also this morning, we'll get into what's been happening in the news, what's new. Later on in Morning Blend Business, we'll be talking to Island Pay. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest briefing, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight session of the Bahamas last night, fired back at the representatives of FTX US, who have continued to raise concerns over the Commission's decision to transfer some of FTX assets to a digital wallet SCB controls. In the face of continued hacks on the cryptocurrency exchange, made the right choice. FTX Trading and over 100 other affiliate companies, which filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the U.S., appeared in court issue once again. They say, quote, "As we noted in our pleadings to transfer, we do have evidence that there have been movement of assets out of the debtors' estates." James Bromley, the proposed co-counsel for FTX Trading, said. He continues, "There have been some warrants that have been issued by the government of the Bahamas as to the actions they have taken with respect to certain assets." In FTX's new CEO, John Ray III, who was appointed after Sam Bankman-Fried resigned, was more frank. He said, quote, "The debtors thus have credible evidence that the Bahamian government is responsible for directing unauthorized access to debtors' systems." And PLP chairman says the Bahamas' future will not be hurt by the FTX collapse, rejecting concerns raised over the collapse of crypto giant FTX and worries that it could negatively impact the Bahamas. Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell said yesterday that the Bahamas be threatened by FTX. He said, quote, "I watched the Wall Street Journal piece yesterday, I think it was," Mitchell said. The reporter intoned with serious terms, with grave background, and, well, you would have thought doom and gloom, the sky is falling in the Bahamas. You know, we have a well-regulated jurisdiction. The sky is not falling. There is no doom and gloom. Our future is not threatened by the collapse of FTX, not for 1 minute. This is the second voice note to party supporters where Mitchell dismissed the FTX issue. And during a joint sitting of the House of Assembly, Senate President Michelle Adderley yesterday called for the criminalization of rape in all forms. She says, quote, "Our long-walked freedom has not yet ended when the marital bed has become a violent mattress. Rape is rape, notwithstanding the context," said Adderley. "The Bible reminds us that men ought to love their wives in the way that Christ loves the church and died for it. This love, defined in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, as being patient, kind, not delighting in evil. Freedom and justice demands legislation which outlaws spousal rape." Adderley made the call during a joint sitting that brought MPs and senators together in the House of Assembly for the first time in a decade to highlight contributions women have made to the Bahamas development over the years. And former Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture didn't by her record as minister following erroneous reports that she was under police investigation, adding that, quote, "justice will prevail." She said, quote, "I stand by my record that as minister, as far as I'm aware, all procedures were followed as far as I was aware as minister." A minister does not know everything in a ministry at any given time. So to the best of my knowledge, everything as it relates to me, there were protocols, there were persons in place who should have followed protocols, and I believe that they did. Where they did not, whatever investigations or injuries will reveal, whatever process or was not followed. On Tuesday, Eyewitness News reported that police were investigating Roll, who resigned from cabinet under the minister's administration. In international news now, China is expanding its lockdowns as its COVID-19 cases hit a daily record. Pandemic lockdowns are expanding across China, including a city where factory workers clashed this week with police as the number of COVID-19 cases hit a daily record. Residents of 8 districts of Zhengzhou, home to 6.6 million people, were told to stay home for 5 days beginning Thursday, except to buy food or get medical treatment. Daily mass testing was ordered in what the city government called a war of annihilation against the virus. During clashes Tuesday and Wednesday, Zhengzhou police beat workers protesting over a pay dispute at the biggest factory for Apple's iPhone, located in an industrial zone near the city. Foxconn, the owner of the factory, apologized Thursday for what it called an input error in the computer system and said it would guarantee that the pay is the same as agreed to and in official recruitment posters. In the previous 24 hours, the number of new COVID cases rose by 31,444, the National Health Commission said Thursday. That's the highest daily figure since the coronavirus was first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan in late 2019. Let's turn to a look at sports. And Ole Miss falls to Utah. It came down to the wire at the Bahamar Hoops Pink Flamingo Tournament game between the University of Mississippi Ole Miss Lady Rebels and the University of Utah Utes inside the Bahamar Convention Center at the Bahamar Resort last night. A heave with zero point 0.6 seconds left on the clock by the Lady Rebels' Snutter Collins never made it to the rim, and the Utes held on to win 69-67. The Lady Rebels now sport a 5-1 win-loss record, while the Utes improved to 6-0 in early season play. With 20 seconds left in the jump shot to tie the game at 67 points, the Utes dribbled the clock down to the final second on the shot clock, and Kennedy McQueen took a 3-point shot from the right elbow. It rimmed out before the referee blew the whistle for a foul on Rebels guard Angel Baker. That meant 3 free throws were coming for McQueen. She missed the first one, but made the second and third free throws to put her team up 69-67 with 0.6 seconds left on the clock. And the NCAA champions Jayhawk tip-off battled for Atlantis with a win. The NCAA Divisions I men's basketball champions University of Kansas Jayhawks held off a pesky North Carolina State University Wolfpack team 80-74 in their opening game of the 11th edition of the Battle for Atlantis men's tournament. Hawks in the semifinals. Set for today at 11 a.m., they will take on the Wisconsin Badgers. The win pushed Bill Self's squad to a perfect 5-0 record on the season. Self's return to the bench came after being suspended for the first 4 games of the season. This is the second time the Jayhawks are playing in the tournament, having done so in 2013. The Wolfpacks were in the tournament in 2017. In international sports, you guessed it, World Cup. And Ronaldo and Neymar are seeking history today. 2 of the best players in soccer start World Cup competition today, as Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar both seek history in Qatar. Ronaldo is attempting to become the first male soccer player to different World Cups when he leads Portugal against Ghana. Marta of Brazil has scored in 5 women's World Cups. Neymar, meanwhile, is the leader of a Brazil team seeking a record-extending 6th World Cup title, but first in 20 years. Brazil plays Serbia in its first match. All attention is on Ronaldo, though, following his messy but mutual split this week with Manchester United. 37-year-old forward, likely playing in his final World Cup, gave an explosive interview only days before traveling to Qatar that criticized manager Erik ten Hag and United's owner, triggering the split. And on Wednesday, Ronaldo was banned for 2 Premier League matches and fined £50,000 for hitting a phone out of a fan's hand at Everton last season. The ban will follow Ronaldo to whatever new club he joins in any country, but does not apply to World Cup. As you look at sports and you look at the overnight, your first look at weather is up next. And now time for your first look at weather, brought to you by the Chick Charney Challenge, sponsored by Colina. A general situation, a ridge of high pressure continues to dominate the weather over the Bahamas, producing mostly pleasant conditions. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches and along Atlantic exposed shorelines. For all areas, weather mostly sunny and warm with the chance of passing showers, and possible thunderstorms becoming fair and warm tonight with the chance of isolated showers. Small craft operators should exercise caution due to light swells mainly along Atlantic exposed shorelines. Winds easterly at 10 knots or less in the northwest, 15 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 3 feet or less in the northwest Bahamas, 3 to 5 feet central and in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas slightly higher in swells. Your Daytime high temperature today, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 degrees Celsius. Your overnight low temperature, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. The weather, we'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up in just a bit.
Morning Blend Weather Check brought to you by the Chickcharney Challenge. The country's premier obstacle course run is back this December 3rd at Clifton Heritage Park. Run, jump, climb, and claw your way to the Chickcharney Challenge, The Return. Sign up today at chickcharneychirin.com or call 421-8915 today. The Chickcharney Challenge.
When we come back, we're discussing some of the day's top stories. That's when Morning Blend continues here on Guardian Radio 96.9, home of fresh news all day.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branches. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functions. Commonwealth Bank.
Join Journey Rewards for free, and every purchase is another chance to win big monthly prizes like a cruise for 2, plane tickets, free fuel, and so much more. Just scan, win, repeat. Fuel up or grab a snack or a drink at any Esso service station. Then scan the QR code to enter your purchase information. That's it. The more you enter, the more you can win. And win, and win again. Journey Rewards. Scan, win, repeat. Free to join and easy to enter. Start by an Esso service station and start winning today. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
The secret is out. Thursdays have gone TCL at Alive. Thursday, November 17th and November 24th, you can save big on select. Shop early for the holidays and get the best deals on devices starting as low as $19. Alive has doorbuster specials, TCL savings, and more. So stop, drop, and run to your nearest Alive location closest to you. We are Alive. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, new day.
Good morning. morning and welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on www.guardiantalkradio.com and the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices, and on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. Guardian Radio is all over social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Chester Robards. Joining me now is you. You were joining me today. I learned late last night that Laverne wouldn't be able to join me today. So you can join our conversation today. Tweet us at MorningBlend969 or follow the hashtag MorningBlend. Be sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Leave your comments and read what others are saying about the topics on the show. askguard.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC. Text us at 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Standard text rates do apply. You can also call us. Love to hear your voice. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Also coming up this morning, traffic and in business hour at 9 o'clock, we're talking Island Pay. But first, it's time to talk about what's in the news. In the news, I want to talk about a couple of things, but we can start with just the latest, of course, on FTX. Strachan has been pretty regularly putting out statements regarding what it's doing with FTX and where it is. And they've been dropping these statements pretty late at night. I got the one yesterday. And my phone's not showing me the time, but I think it was somewhere around 9. The one before that was like 11:30 p.m. The one before that I think was closer to midnight. But, you know, they got to look over this stuff over and over again, I'm sure. So I'm going to read the statement for you. The Securities Commission statement on transfer motion in FTX Digital Markets, Chapter 15 proceedings. And the Securities Commission of the Bahamas issues the following statement with respect to certain remarks made by FTX Trading Limited and certain of its affiliates in connection with their motion to transfer the venue of the Chapter 15 proceedings of FTX Digital Markets Limited that were commenced to assist the provisional liquidators appointed by the Supreme Court of the Bahamas in the discharge of their duties with respect to FDM. FDM was incorporated in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas on the 22nd of July, 2021. It was duly registered as a digital assets business under the Bahamas' Digital Assets and Registered Exchanges Act 2020. Pursuant to Bahamas law, on the 10th of November 2022, the Commission determined that the customers and creditors of FDM were in need of protection of the DARE Act, in need of the protection of the DARE Act, and suspended FDM's license to conduct business, and subsequently filed a petition before the Bahamian Supreme Court to place FDM into provisional liquidation. This action, the first commenced globally against an FTX entity, placed FDM under the control of a court-appointed fiduciary and removed prior management from exercising any authority over FDM. Given the nature of digital assets and the risk associated with hacking and compromise, the Commission determined that placing FDM into liquidation was not sufficient to protect the customers and creditors of FDM. Accordingly, on 12 November 2022, the Commission sought an additional order from the Supreme Court of the Bahamas for authority under the DARE Act to transfer all digital assets of FTX into digital wallets under the exclusive control of the Commission for the benefit of clients and creditors of FDM. It is unfortunate that in Chapter 11 filings, the new CEO of FTX Trading Limited misrepresented this timely action through the intemperate and inaccurate allegations lodged in the transfer motion. It is also concerning that the Chapter 11 debtors chose to rely on the statements of individuals they have, in other filings, characterized as unreliable sources of information and potentially seriously compromised. Further, the statements made by the purported officers of FTX Trading Limited and the other purported Chapter 11 debtors, they have suffered significant thefts, that their systems were compromised, and that they continue to face new hacking attempts, reinforces the wisdom of the Commission's prompt action to secure these digital assets. The Commission will continue to evaluate the situation, continue to act in accordance with directions issued by the Supreme Court of the Bahamas, collaborate with other supervisory authorities, and take such further action as needed to preserve the assets of FDM and to safeguard the interests of customers and creditors of FDM. In addition, the Commission will continue to investigate the facts and circumstances regarding FTX's liquidity crisis and any potential violations of Bahamian law and hold any responsible companies and individuals accountable in cooperation with other regulatory agencies and law enforcement, both in the Bahamas and other affected countries, in connection with their own investigations. The Commission also looks forward to continuing to cooperate with the authorities in other jurisdictions to ensure the cooperative and vigorous resolution of all necessary proceedings to effectuate those ends. And that's the end of that statement. Yes. So the Securities Commission of the Bahamas put that statement out late last night. A much stronger language towards the new operators of FTX in the U.S., who've been just completely, misdirecting some of the things that the Bahamas has been doing, like was said in the Securities Commission statement, saying that the Bahamian government's been moving stuff around without authorization and all kinds of craziness, right? So again, and that sparked a whole lot of, crazy headlines all over the place, right? And as part of the reason that, we've been calling for whatever the government's damage control regime would look like, calling for them to say something, do something, So, and that kind of, though, helps to segue into the other thing I want to talk about. We could talk about what the Securities Commission said in its statement, but I also want to turn to this story about former Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Lanisha Roll, and what's happening there. And in our story written by Jasper Ward, it says, former Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Lanisha Roll, yesterday stood by her record as a minister following erroneous reports that she was under police investigation, adding that, quote, justice will prevail. So, if you heard a report that Lanisha Roll was under investigation, the report is erroneous, right? And if you don't know what erroneous means, it's not correct. So she says, I stand by my record that as a minister, as far as I'm aware, all procedures were followed as far as I was aware as minister. She says, a minister does not know everything in a ministry at any given time. So to the best of my knowledge, everything as it relates to me, there were protocols, there were persons in place who should have followed protocols, and I believe they did. Where they did not, whatever investigations or injuries will reveal, whatever process was or was not followed. On Tuesday, Eyewitness News reported that police were investigating Roll, who resigned from cabinet under the Minister administration. However, the Nassau Guardian understands that while police are probing the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and the Ministry of Social Services, no such investigations are taking place with regard to Roll. Roll was asked yesterday about the alleged investigation. She responded, I certainly believe that in due time the truth will be exposed. I've resigned from cabinet from February 23rd, 2021, and since then, we are here today. I recall the last official report, the audit report, disclosed to my information that the accounts of Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture were fairly maintained. I did not hear that another audit or any further investigation was going on, so we are where we are today. The former Seabreeze MP noted that she served in the police force for more than a decade and trusts police officers. She added that she also serves as an officer of the courts as an attorney. She said, quote, I trust that the due process of the court will be followed, the rule of law will take its course, and justice will prevail. Roll said police had not reached out to her. Roll was the only female member of Dr. Hubert Minister's cabinet at the time of her resignation. She did not give a reason in her resignation letter to the Governor General and declined to provide any reason yesterday. Hours after her resignation letter surfaced, the Cabinet Office released a statement formally announcing the resignation and added, quote, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minister has accepted Mrs. Roll's resignation. Certain matters have been brought to the attention of the Prime Minister and are under investigation. However, the parameters of the investigation were not specified. An Auditor General's audit was conducted into the National Sports Authority, which fell under Roll between February 23rd, 2021 and March 10th, 2021, and covered the period July 1st to 2018 and July 31st, 2021. The audit, which was tabled last year, found several instances where people were hired by the NSA without board approval, without positions being advertised, and in one instance where an employee's salary exceeded the midpoint range of $50,000. Auditor General Terence Bastian reviewed 8 contracts issued by the NSA. He found that the procurement exercise was not conducted for a contract valued at $45,600. In another instance, Bastian found that a December 14, 2020 contract valued at $168,000 was signed without board approval. The contract, he wrote, was signed by the chairman and the contractor. So the reason I initially wanted to focus on that story is this erroneous reporting thing, right? And, I'm a member of the media. I write for the business section of the Nassau Guardian. And our one job is to present factual information to the public. And that's why I thought the FTX story was a good segue into this one, because the last 2 weeks have been about FTX. And a lot of the reporting on FTX from across the world, not just, locally I haven't seen much by the way of erroneous reporting. But across the world, people have been just trying to be the first to put out information, and it's been bad information. And I have to tell you that if it's one thing the Nassau Guardian newspaper does not do, it is not going to be that media source to be the first to drop some information just because it wants to be the first to break it, but be inaccurate. I can tell you that we go through painstaking processes here, sometimes to the frustration of reporters, sometimes to my frustration, sometimes to others' frustration, but it's necessary. And we've seen it time and time again. We call the name of the company that Eyewitness News reported that Lanisha Roll was under investigation, and police haven't even spoken to her. It is important. Like, we move at the speed of technology right now, right? Which is quick. And I'm one of those people who on a regular basis has to, like, message my mom and be like, what is this thing you sent me? This is not true. It happens. I don't know if y'all have some, people in your lives who send in you stuff all the time. It's like, hey, look at this. This is going on. And I'm like, this ain't even in our country. This has nothing to do with us, right? Because the things people pass around, most of the time is just mischief, right? Like the stuff about Sam Bankman-Fried being arrested, which was out since like last week, right? People are like sharing it like it's gospel, and the man's not been under arrest here. Yes, it drives media personnel into like this frenzied thing of trying to get the right information. But we don't just go drop it and then try and figure out the truth later. That's irresponsible, right? And we try not to practice irresponsible journalism. We're human beings over here where sometimes we fail, and I'm sure you've seen big blunders in the past. But we try to fix that, right? Let's take this call that's coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Callie, this is Doc. Voice along with you, Chester.
Yes, good morning.
We need justice, law, and order in this country. You speak of speedy about technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the government realized that the people are bringing here FPX, right? The people here were not technology savvy enough for that situation, whereby it leads to the trouble that we are in today pertaining to FPX?
No, I don't.
That's my first question. I have another question for you.
Okay. Go ahead with the other question.
The other question is, right? Why do you think that the international, right, people haven't dealt with those people that were being beaten for their rights over in China?
That's a good question.
Say it again?
I said that's a good question.
My last point is, right, before I go, I did say it too, but my last point is, when it comes to Miss Rhodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, I suppose why she's still out in the media, right, is because everything, when it comes to her, everything that happened with her portfolio, she's supposed to know of it. Don't you think so?
One would think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, it felt uncomfortably familiar to see what she said in her quotes. She says, "I stand by my record that as minister, as far as I'm aware, all proper procedures were followed. As far as I'm aware," she says again, as minister, right? And obviously, like she said, you can't know everything that's going on in your ministry. But and these politicians use some of these vague things so much. it's worrying. But I really wanted to touch on we are supposed to hold the government accountable as the media. We're supposed to hold society accountable. But we need to be held accountable as well. We need to be more responsible with imparting information. And again, information moves quickly. Before we can print something in the paper is on Twitter, right? And you might get your news straight from there. But information gathering, the amount of things that we put in the paper can't fit on Twitter in one post. So, and you got some sources out there. Sometimes they're true, but sometimes they embellish the truth. They don't responsibly take care of people's feelings, families' feelings, the way they report things. Some of them call themselves press, and they're not, a part of the actual press corps. But the most important thing here is to weed out the bad information and pay attention to the truth. If you've learned anything through this FTX thing, it is that I want to say American media in general, right? But it's not general. But a lot of the people who've been coming here and reporting from here, and just writing from unnamed sources and people just saying things and they just write it, just again to break a story and to be the first without any kind of accountability. That has been happening a lot in this FTX story. And I beseech all of my good media folk here to not be a part of that kind of journalism. Find out the facts first. Talk to multiple people. If somebody says something you think they're a good source, their source might have been a bad source. They might be a good source for other things, but their information might be coming from a bad place. Don't just listen to that one person. Let's take some more of these calls, yeah? Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, good morning. It reminds me, it perhaps isn't always good, even though you may know the truth, to speak it. Perhaps if you just keep your mouth shut, you might save a lot of embarrassment for yourself and for other people. We just like to be the first one to have the knowledge to release. That's all, right?
That sounds like advice for a husband.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at how we're going to expose information that probably not before the police, and says before the police try to create something. We don't know. I maybe just like to stir things up in this country.
Yeah.
But let's look at brilliance. That Sam Bankman young man, we're not looking at the level of brilliance that's embedded in this young guy. The thing is, when you're going to try and handle everything by yourself and just a few friends, and keep it tight, closely held, and you're going to take a risk and don't put your proper risk to reward ratio in play and take a huge risk because you really want to flip something real quick, and Bitcoin could do it for you. And he just stumbled and fall. Others may think he deliberately. Tell me, where did the money go?
Which money?
The money that's allegedly these investors cannot find anymore because tokens have been converted to fiat.
Oh no, there were some hackings, but again, some of the media, international media, and FTX US, saying that the Bahamas government moved money without proper the proper authority, which is not true.
So which court is going to supersede the other? Because I understand this guy is filing all over the place for protection.
Well, the Securities Commission moved the money of a company they regulate. So.
Oh, okay. So the money is safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Safe
well, then let the man walk then. Eh? I mean, he just probably made a little mistake there.
Well, all the money isn't accounted for, but.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But All right, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, exactly. All right, appreciate it. This person, reading some of the text messages now, says, when has The Guardian done an investigation piece and followed it, I guess they meant through, but they put true, and not real answers or real results, like name one? Well, let me think about that. This person says that Lanisha Rose story is all PLP deflection, Chester. It's their guerrilla tactics. No, that ain't guerrilla. That is not guerrilla. And how long could a Lanisha Rose story be a deflection? Anyway, let's take this next call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
You know, I was thinking the same thing that Texas said just now, that this Lanisha Rule thing is just slam for something else. Because if you look at it, she was not contacted by the police, like she said. So if she was under investigation, shouldn't she be one of the first to know?
Exactly.
Okay, so obviously, whoever started this trying to deflect from something else. Because I have seen, now I know you won't agree with me, but I have seen it play out for a while now that anytime something rises up or started to rise up in the new government, they bring up something of the minister administration and they try to hold it out there as long as they can. And so, because everybody is so upset with what Minister did and how he did what he did, it's like it's a sore thumb for everyone. So they use that as a deflection, and that's what I have come to notice, and I've been watching. Believe you me, I've been watching, because even when the media gets wind of something to do with Minister, you all hold it there as long as you guys can, while whatever's going on in the PLP, nobody is talking about. It's like you guys just throw that to the side and just focus on something that should have, could have, would have, might have been.
So,
Minister's done, but we put him to rest.
So what do you think they could be trying to deflect?
I'm not sure what it is, but from my perspective of watching them thus far, yeah, they are doing deflection. I don't know what it is. I don't know, something's going to come up, or this has to do with trying to deflect from the topic of the FTX, or if they have something in FTX that they don't want us to know about because Pintar asked. Because y'all are no longer asking. Y'all just, like everything else, y'all just drop it. When they say no, or we ain't show up, we'll leave it there. And then jump on something to do with what should have, could have, would have, might have been. That's how I'm seeing it. And I've been watching and listening for quite a while now. So I can tell you, I think different from others. Okay. So that's how I'm seeing it, that there's something going on. Y'all need to stick on a story. If y'all ask, Pintar asked them about their connections with FTX. Davis was the only one answering. He said he don't know. It's the same thing Lanisha said, as far as she know. And he said as far as he know. It's okay for him to say as far as he know, but it's not okay for her to say as far as she knows.
It's not okay for anybody to say that.
Pardon me?
I say it's not okay for anyone to say that in my book.
Okay, so when he said it, they left it alone.
Who left it alone?
He has said it time and again, and they're still saying, well, she should have known because she was in charge. But nobody's saying he should have known because he is in charge. You understand my point?
You didn't listen to the show then when it was said.
Pardon me?
I said clearly you weren't listening to this show when it was said.
No, I'm saying if anybody went back to him to get him to say more than that, or ask the other members if they have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think y'all should stick on that. This is just a reflection on what's going on.
So.
Yeah, this is a reflection. That's how I see it.
Okay. So. Thank you.
Hmm?
In the Tribune today, MPs answer on whether they had FTX investments. And let's see. One person, they spoke to Exuma and Ragged Island MP Chester Cooper, who said he has not invested in FTX. and then said, quote, I don't have any further comments. I have no further comments, but I will answer that I am not invested in FTX. They MPs who confirmed they did not invest in FTX or receive any donations. Sorry. Turn this ring off. It comes on automatically. What did they say? State Public Service Minister Pia Glover of Golden Gates confirmed that she did not have investments in FTX. However, she said she received a contribution of 10 laptops from FTX for her constituency after school homework assistance. Oh, okay. Her constituency's after school homework assistance program. They spoke to Alison Maynard Gibson, KC, the former Attorney General, under a PLP administration, and FTX's attorney, and she declined to comment. And she declined to comment when asked if she had any investments in FTX, and told reporters that her focus was on celebration of women, as yesterday's morning sitting was a joint Parliament was a joint sitting between senators and MPs. So, nobody seems to have an investment in FTX. It seems very strange to me, but if they say so, let's take this next call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, good morning, Chester.
How you doing?
And good morning to those who wake up in the land of the living. You ain't got no co-host again this morning.
You see that? You my co-host.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be the co-host. As a matter of fact, I'm on a talk show this evening anyway. But needless to say, so the lady who called just now, what is a deflection? How if you hear allegations about Chester and something else is going on, how is that a deflection? How is it a deflection when people's monies were missing or gone through the window and no one giving an accountability about it? You see, Chester, let me tell you something. Y'all F&M callers, y'all could call, y'all could text, y'all could go on social media, y'all could do whatever y'all want to do. The Progressive Liberal Party is the government and is led by the Honorable Philip Edward Brave Davis and Mr. Ryan Pinders, the AG. And guess what, Chester? If the government of today find any malfeasance, they like to use that word, but I like to use the T word, right? If they find any misconduct or money missing, don't you think they should go after the source? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right, Chester, that's your money. And we all know, Chester, a couple of years ago, I don't want to go back in time, when we were locked down, a lot of unforgiven things were going on in the country. A lot of unforgiven things. The majority of people were locked down while a certain set of families could have had liquor stores and stuff open and do all kind of things, Chester. Almost $3-something billion gone, Mr. Chester, and no one don't want no one to give up to find out where the money gone. You got to pay that back. Your child or your children got to pay that back, Chester. So I think it's only fit whether it's the PLP government or whether it's the F&M government, if they find that there were mismanagement of funds in government ministries, go after the people. Because I could be real with you. It's high time somebody in this country, the governments of today and of the past, if you're wrong, man. The same way you drag the man from Ram Baintown over the hill to court, right? You don't do an investigation on him like that. You don't even hear something. You put him before the court. So why you can't put these people who in charge of our money before the court? Help me to understand that this morning. Whether you're an F&M or whether you're a PLP, right? The people put you there. They put you there as being someone confident to run a certain ministry. And all of a sudden, Chester, this one billing this one. This one billing out. That one billing out. The next one billing out. Chester, where the money come from? And you ain't making that salary. You building almost a $400 to $1 million house, Chester. And where is the money come from? Or where did the money come from? In other words, where? And you don't want the Bahamian government, the AG and the police to investigate where that money come from. What you got to pay back? Because you say after them, you can call a talk show and say, it's a distraction. Yeah, it's a distraction. We all can see who the harm coming down in Chester, Cooper. I mean, but yeah, Chester Robots, I can say this to you, sir. Your guardian can have plenty things to report in the months to come. Maybe before Christmas. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. And you mentioned billions of dollars. I don't know any missing billions, but this person says, you keep talking about hacking, which is a computer term and process. FTX was not hacked. People who had access to the system simply used their access. I can only be called fraud, but certainly not hacking. I wish people would stop saying that. Okay, fair enough. You know more than us. This person says, Chester, the question they should have, I guess, asked, was, does any of them have a company that invested in FTX? They could be a middleman. Could be. People have lots of ways of not tying money to themselves. This person says, did anyone ask Fred Mitchell if he had any investments in FTX? I don't know. This person says, how come DeWitt, why should they invest? They have the power to invest our money in particular NIB funds. Then they say, how come DeWitt ain't put this kind of energy into finding out how much shingles was really collected? This person says, red herring, talking about the Lanisha Roll story, I guess. And they think the distraction is to keep our eyes off of BPL and FTX. Well, it's not a good distraction. This person says, media needs to keep on them for FTX to see if any MP is invested in the local company. Getting donations is one thing, but investing in the local company is a different kettle of fish. We don't need to know if they are clients who purchase crypto. We need to know if any are owners, investors in the company, and did they receive company shares or tokens for their investment, right? This person says, some tarnished individuals from the last Christie administration who now have FaceTime in this FTX catastrophe are giving the Davis administration a bad look. Many feel. Okay. All right. Let's take these other calls, yeah? Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling in reference to, I'm calling back as a matter of fact. I think it's misunderstanding. I'm saying if Ms. Roll is under investigation, should she have not known? That is my point.
Well, right, but I mean, we've decided that she's not under investigation.
Pardon me?
I said we learned now that she's not under investigation personally.
Okay, and that was all I said. He is saying all these money spent missing, and she said the order that came out of her ministry, her prior ministry, was okay.
Well,
there was no.
It wasn't.
That's
it wasn't
okay.
Pardon me? It wasn't okay. There were some things that weren't done procedurally.
Oh, okay. Well, I know she said something of that sort. But she said if it was an investigation, she would have been notified. Nobody notified. That was my point. You know, I think that's some of our problem. We are too political to be fair to each other, and that's what's tearing us down.
Absolutely,
I'm not too political to say when right. I love Mr. Davis. You know, I love what he is trying to do for us. However, I feel like at some point, we need to drop focus of what should have been or could have been and try to move the country forward by working together. Tearing each other down is not going to do that. All I was trying to say was that she was never notified of anything. He is talking about, he likes jail a lot. Everybody needs to go to jail under the Menace administration for his point. I mean, that's how he's seen. But I was not trying to say there was stuff missing and nobody should give an account. I never said that. I only said if she was under investigation, she should have been notified. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and yeah, I totally, everything is politics in this country, and things are far too political. We are far too divided by people in power who benefit greatly from their power. I mean, let's not get that wrong, right? And the people who call and make the most noise all the time, I don't know. Are you benefiting? Tell us about it. This person says, tell Dwight, go sit down. People tired of both parties while they investigate F&M. Is he saying they can't investigate anything else? Because I don't hear him raising his blood pressure about the BPL issue with Sears and Davis. Talk about that too, or stop making noise because other rabid party fans doing it. This person says, good morning. If you look into the people in charge of FTX, they seem completely fraudulent. No worries. FBI will be all over it. And this government distraction. What distraction? Might be able to deflect away from illegal criminal immigration laws being broken every day. Squirrel? What? What? Okay. Everything is a distraction or a deflection. What's the real something else going on that we haven't written about or know about yet? Everything is a distraction or a deflection. Wait. This person said, good morning, Chester. The caller who just called and talked about the people being held accountable for spending government funds. Sounds like he forgot about PLP spending government money on their trip and then paying it back when it was brought to the forefront. Also, the deflection on the PLP part is to get the public mind off BPL fuel mess up, FTX, and the money spent on travel. You can't get people mind off that. As soon as they pick up their bills, they can remember that. Why do people, what is this? It's a fad, you know, this whole talk of distraction and deflection is a fad. That is distraction, to talk about distraction. Because all we can talk about now is what is a distraction. This person says, good morning, can Dwight help do it? Can Dwight help the Bahamian people understand? D-O-I-T. I am pretty sure that's not how he spells his name. Oh, can Dwight help the Bahamian people understand what's going on with Mr. Gray and Prime Minister? Please somebody explain, because that in the way that makes sense, they making no sense what they said. No, they haven't. They haven't made sense. I don't understand. And this is the other thing, right, about that situation. I don't understand, like, how they go on about what they go on about, even after making, like, the faux pas, right? Did you get a report on hedging? Did you not get a report on hedging? They say they didn't see it, then they say they see it, and somebody else see it, but it wasn't something they were supposed to see. It wasn't part of their remit and all kinds of stuff. And that stuff right there should not be happening. And the thing is, what are y'all going to do about it? And it ain't no distraction or deflection. You know, also our opposition needs to, you know, not stop bringing that up. Because that's what they're there for, as an opposition. All right, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Chester, don't be bad with me, but I had to call back to correct something.
Okay. You calling to correct your name?
Oh, my name is D-W-I-T-T. They can call me what they want
it's
to call me.
D-O-I-T?
Call me when you all have some contractual work to do. I have a contract business. Call me. 819-9848. I give my number on the radio, so that's how I spell my name, D-W-I-T-T. Chester, the word investigation, when people talk about, they hear people under investigation. Now, let's be realistic, as being a journalist. The police don't have to tell you that Chester's under investigation, you know. The police only tell Chester when he's under investigation when they have enough credible evidence to maybe lobby charges against Chester. In any jurisdiction or any country, you might hear something or something might get leaked out. But when you hear things get leaked out with certain set of people, Chester, you do your homework. And I suggest the caller and the texter, you all do your homework. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what was going on in these government ministries, Chester. We only assuming or coming up with our conspiracy theories. But sometimes people hear little things in the wind. And I can say something to you, Mr. Chester. I can tell you something. Someone in this country or some people in this country, Chester, can be brought to shame. Could be brought to shame, could be held accountable. And Texas, y'all could call me with your PLP this and PLP that. Right? Y'all could call me with your won't call me. But I can tell all of y'all something. Y'all better pack up on your tissues. Have a good day, my brother.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Y'all see how I spell. He told you how to spell his name so that, when you're texting in, you don't spell it D-O-I-T. Let's read some of these text messages before we got to go to our break. Actually, let's go to the break. Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna break and regroup and come back with more Morning Blend in just a bit.
It's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. Millions of parade goers are in New York City this morning for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which steps off just before 9 this morning Eastern Time. Floats, marching bands, singers, cheerleaders, clowns, the Rockettes, and those big balloons. Matt Caprillion is the parade studio manager.
The balloons can be about 70 feet long. Some of the largest ones are 70 feet long. And the giant balloons take 50 people underneath, just holding lines. We had extra people for support, but we've got at least 50 people holding each one of the giant balloons.
New York is planning tight security around the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade after mass shootings elsewhere in the nation. The AP's Donna Warder.
Security measures include heavy weapons teams, explosives detection dogs, a bomb squad, radiological and chemical sensors, drone detection, sand trucks and blocker vehicles, and additional cameras on the route.
Authorities in New York City say there is no credible threat to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Still no clear word on why a Walmart team leader killed 6 people in an employee break room at the Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia. Police found him dead minutes later. One employee says he had a history of complaining about employees for no reason. Ford is recalling some SUVs because a cracked fuel injector can spill fuel or leak vapors onto a hot engine and cause fires. The recall covers late-model Bronco Sport and Escape SUVs. Ford says it's not recommending that owners stop driving the vehicles or park them outdoors because, says Ford, fires are rare and generally don't happen when the engines are off. Are you seeing those ads for the big holiday deals on all sorts of items? TVs, appliances, furniture? Well, analysts say many items will still cost more than they did last year because of inflation. This is AP News. To Ukraine now, the AP's Karen Shamas.
Now that Russia has left the city of Kherson, the Ukrainian military is planning its next move. Only weeks after its retreat, Russia is now pounding the town with artillery as its military digs in across the Dnieper River. Ukraine is striking back at Russian troops with its own long-distance weapons. The weapons enable Ukraine to strike deeper into Russian-controlled territory, possibly pushing as far as Crimea, which Russia illegally captured in 2014. The Russian withdrawal from the only provincial capital it gained in 9 months of war was one of Moscow's most significant battlefield losses. I'm Karen Chamas.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment is up to the highest level since August, but still remains low by historic standards. 240,000 people applied for unemployment last week. The current low levels show that American workers enjoy extraordinary job security. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
It's time for your Morning Blend traffic alert. This segment of Morning Blend brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. Some traffic, not so bad on Gladstone Road this morning, but building up clearly. It's flowing as you pass Fire Trail Road in the northbound lanes, but traffic thickens up. There's something going on there. A lot of traffic building up in the westbound lane on John F. Kennedy Drive. I'm sorry, the eastbound lane. Maybe the traffic police are there directing. Traffic starting to build up already at the Saunders Beach roundabout. You want to get out early if that's your route. On Eastern Road, traffic is already backed up, but not so bad this morning. It is just a little bit past Fox Hill Road. It is pretty bad and growing there on Prince Charles, though traffic is backed up all the way to Elizabeth Estates and starting to build up just before Beatrice Avenue in the westbound lane on Prince Charles. It's backed all the way up to about Doris Johnson. Village Road is some traffic there, school traffic likely, but again, beware of the construction on that road. If you can avoid the area, continue to avoid that area. Traffic built up on Carmichael Road eastbound at the intersection to Blue Hill Road. Not as bad as the other mornings, and it looks like it's flowing on Blue Hill Road just ever so slightly. Again, if you're taking any of those thoroughfares, you want to get out now to avoid the worst of it. It will likely thicken in the next few minutes. That's your Morning Blend traffic alert. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay until February 2023. And now it's time for your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Your general situation, a ridge of high pressure, continues to dominate the weather over the Bahamas, producing mostly pleasant conditions. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches and along Atlantic exposed shorelines. For all areas, weather mostly sunny and warm with the chance of a few isolated passing showers and possible thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight with the chance of isolated showers. Small craft operators should exercise caution due to light swells, mainly along Atlantic exposed shorelines. Winds easterly at 10 knots or less in the northwest, 15 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 3 feet or less in the northwest Bahamas, 3 to 5 feet in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas slightly higher in swells for all areas. Your high temperature today, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 degrees Celsius. Your low temperature tonight, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. Your extended forecast for the next 2 days, high pressure across the area will remain in place on Friday, then retreat temporarily as a weak frontal boundary is expected to move into the northwest Bahamas late Saturday. We will have an outlook for the next 2 days for you. That is your weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams.
Sherwin-Williams Paints wants to make your holiday a splash jollier. November 21st through December 23rd, Come deck your walls with color by stopping into either the Tonique Williams-Darling Highway or Prince Charles Drive location and take advantage of their Christmas sale of up to 20% off. And when you spend $100 or more, you enter to win prizes like hotel stays, boat excursions, interior designer consultations, and more. So stop on in to win. Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, find color in every day.
And it feels good to do good. This Christmas, let's spread some good together. Share your story of an act of kindness on RBC's Facebook and Instagram pages, and a registered charity of your choice could be selected to receive a donation from RBC. And Kerry's Fabric and Uniform Store is having a Black Friday store-wide sale, up to 50% off, excluding net items this Friday, November 25th only. Kerry's Fabric and Uniform Store, located at Mackey Street. Call them at 393-0785. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
How important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Do you want a chance to win one of 5 Yamaha Kryptonite scooters? Do you like the great taste of Frito-Lay chips? Well, all you have to do is purchase chips like Lay's, Doritos, and Cheetos at your favorite grocery store, and you can enter to win thanks to Frito-Lay and the Island Wholesale Scooter Giveaway Promotion. Want to know more? Join us at Super Value Mackey Street, November 26th. This Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. for a chance to play Island Wholesale Shoot and Win game for instant prizes and a chance to win one of 5 Yamaha scooters. Frito-Lay, distributed by Island Wholesale.
Si vous exposez ou soit vous sentez symptômes COVID-19 là, c'est pour aller faire test. Seulement visitez-nous dans l'adresse ça yo. Dans l'université Bahamas là ou bien dans Golden Gates Plaza, lundi rive vendredi 9h AM pour 5h PM. Samedi 10h AM pour 6h PM. Mettez-y les waf nous ka faire test COVID-19 là. À Bo Highland et Luchois, lundi rive jeudi 8h AM pour 6h PM. Vendredi et samedi, 8h AM pour 7h PM. Exuma dans Regarda Park, lundi rive vendredi, 9h AM pour 3h PM. Samedi, 9h AM pour 5h PM. À Borco, Machaba, dans Maxwell Food Store, lundi rive samedi, 8h AM pour 5h PM. C'est PAO, WHO, ministre santé avec bien-être qui te porte message là pour nous.
Happy holidays! Nassau Tile is having its Christmas sale. That's right, from November 21st to November 26th, you can save up to 25% off selected ceramic tiles or up to 60% off selected items. And take 20% off store-wide on all tiles, thin set, grout, and mosaics. Our tile experts are ready to guide you in selecting the right tiles for your kitchen backsplash, living room, bathroom, walkway, and patio. So don't miss your chance to spruce up this holiday season. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom at 43 Dowswell Street and save big with Nassau Tile, where the world is at your feet.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
I just linked up with this beautiful young lady, and she says she in love with me.
She say even my internet making sense. When she come over, she say my signal strong, my movies ain't glitching, and when she use her computer, everything was smooth. The only problem is, I let her meet me by my boy house that day, and he got that BTC fiber internet speed bump.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC. Link up.
BWF Christmas Palace is now open. Enjoy a Bahamian Christmas experience with BWF. Check out our wide selection and save big with up to 50% off Black Friday super savings, doorbuster specials, and tent sale. Friday, November the 25th from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. Save big on Christmas supplies, toys, junk canoe and craft supplies, houseware supplies, kitchen and outdoor, cooking supplies, barbecue grills, lawn and garden supplies, automotive supplies and accessories, appliance combo specials, and a whole lot more. BWF. We're more than just our name. Located number 13 Wilton Street, phone 394-000-4-6. Like us on Facebook.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards. Still filling in for Dwight Strachan, who is in China. Anyway, I gotta say thanks to my brother Tony Teach Grant yesterday for co-hosting with me. I didn't get to thank him at the end of the show because I was all ready to go. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. And I gotta say happy Thanksgiving to all of the Americans out there. I ain't saying happy Thanksgiving to you, Bahamians. Y'all using it as an excuse to go eat plenty of food today. Me too. So, just getting back to some text messages before we got to go to the news break. This person says, Davis administration is great at creating distraction. We're still talking about distractions? But your BPL will get your attention from your pocket. Yeah, of course. This person says, can you have the chronic callers call once a week? The same callers. Why don't you call? You should call. I want to hear your voice. Tell DeWitt he better have his tissues because his entire government going down. Okay. Good morning. Instead of calling show Morning Blend, why not call it the DeWitt Comedy Show? Hey, if he want to put his name on it, sure. This person says, good morning, Chester. Speaking of immigration, the Department of Immigration is not doing a good job. Try calling there to report illegal Haitian migrants. All the lines just ring, can't report to anyone. Ha! If I tell you the government agencies that are not doing their jobs. Because I call a lot of them and they don't pick up. Anybody want to hear my stories? I could tell you where you need to go improve. Anyway, we got to change. We really got to change. We have to change. We're losing our people. I know a nurse friend who's going to the United States to go work. We in a bad state in some things in this country. We have to change, and nobody really changing. Let's go to the news break, and Morning Blend will continue on the other side.
Wake up,
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And now at 8:15, it's time for your final look at this morning's weather, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Your general situation, a ridge of high pressure, continues to dominate the weather over the Bahamas, producing mostly pleasant conditions. Your special warnings, beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches and along Atlantic exposed shorelines. For all areas, weather mostly sunny and warm, with the chance of a few isolated passing showers and possible thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight, with the chance of isolated showers. Small craft operators should exercise caution due to light swells, mainly along Atlantic exposed shorelines. Winds easterly at 10 knots or less in the northwest, 15 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 3 feet or less in the northwest Bahamas, 3 to 5 feet in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas slightly higher in swells for all areas. Your high temperature today, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 degrees Celsius. Your low temperature tonight, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. In your extended forecast for the next 2 days, high pressure across the area will remain in place on Friday, then retreat temporarily as a weak frontal boundary is expected to move into the northwest Bahamas late Saturday. Your forecast for Friday, weather mostly sunny and warm with a few isolated showers or thunderstorms possible, becoming fair and mild at night with a slight chance of a brief passing shower. Winds east to southeast at 10 knots or less in the northwest and central Bahamas, 10 to 15 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 1 to 3 feet in the northwest and central Bahamas, 2 to 4 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Your outlook for Saturday, weather mostly sunny and warm, with a few isolated passing showers or thunderstorms possible, becoming fair and mild at night with the slight chance of a brief passing shower. Winds north to northeast at 10 knots or less in the northwest and central Bahamas, northeast to east at 15 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 1 to 3 feet in the northwest and central Bahamas, 3 to 5 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Your tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 5 days. Your weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it today at bahamasfirst.com. And it's time again for your Morning Blend traffic alert. This segment of Morning Blend is brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. And traffic about the same on Glaston Road, just a little bit thicker. Seems like it's moving. Milo Butler Highway, though, it's moving, but the traffic is backed up past Fire Trail Road, causing traffic in the Fire Trail Road eastbound lane to be backed up. Getting close to Gladstone Road. On Carmichael Road eastbound to Blue Hill Road, it is a little better this morning. Heading onto Blue Hill Road, it's flowing, but Blue Hill Road heading over to Independence Drive roundabout is it's pretty thick. Over the hill and down to Soldier Road, it seems. On the Eastern Road, things are still backed up to Fox Hill Road, better than earlier in the week when they were past San Susie. But it seems to be flowing as you get past Fox Hill Road. Traffic at the Saunders Beach roundabout there, backed up but not all the way to Go Slow Bend, so that is a good thing this morning. So things not looking too bad this morning. That is your Morning Blend traffic alert. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay until February 2023.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Come down to RBC. Get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
Link up with BTC. Did you get the speed bump? All BTC subscribers with a bundled fiber connection receive the speed increase. Totally free and totally automatic. It's just another way of ensuring that we are delivering best value to our customers, keeping them on the leading edge of everything awesome. Link up with BTC to get your speed bump today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com to learn more.
With all the fiber you need. Link up.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Get a merry makeover this Christmas from Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan to win a home renovation. This Christmas, unwrap the celebration. $3,000 for your home, new lamp, new decor, new couch that you
Win
own.
a $3,000 home goods gift card when you apply for a Scotia Plan loan this Christmas. We're giving you the gift of a low interest rate and up to 2 months with no payments. Plan the perfect Christmas with your Scotia Plan loan. Use it for any purpose, plus benefit from flexible payment terms. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan now to enter to win a merry home makeover.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Happy holidays! Nassau Tile is having its Christmas sale. That's right, from November 21st to November 26th, you can save up to 25% off selected ceramic tiles or up to 60% off selected items. And take 20% off store-wide on all tiles, thin-set, grout, and mosaics. Our tile experts are ready to guide you in selecting the right tiles for your kitchen backsplash, living room, bathroom, walkway, and patio. So don't miss your chance to spruce up this holiday season. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom at 43 Dowswell Street and save big with Nassau Tile, where the world is at your feet.
At Doctors Hospital, we talk a lot about our Joint Commission International accreditation. The truth is, we worked hard to get it. We're proud of what we've done and what we continue to do. Every single day, every single patient. But why should you care? Our international accreditation means you can rest assured knowing that you have access to the very best healthcare. Our equipment is top of the line. We attract the most qualified physicians, nurses, and technicians. We measure our procedures and outcomes constantly, and we stack up against the very best. That's why you should care. Isn't your health worth it?
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up.
We're back here with Morning Blend this morning. I'm Chester Robards, holding it down for Dwight Strachan, who is in Nigeria. And we are continue our conversation from before the news break. And just want to read a few more of these text messages. This person says, FTX happened. The global community is talking about it. The appearance of what happened is not good for our country, and we need to stop denying and address the nation front on this issue. I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. But some people don't agree, and again, we talked about this yesterday, but the PLP chairman is saying that the Bahamas' future will not be hurt by the FTX collapse. And that's just his opinion, right? Because he doesn't know the future. Everybody else has an opinion on this. Some saying that, this has hurt the country's reputation when it comes to digital assets. Some people think it'll just blow over. Again, we already have one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world with an office here, not headquartered here, but they have an office here. Other cryptocurrency firms have offices here. And obviously, this FTX debacle is not going to run them. The question is, will we, and I know the answer to this question. The question is, will we see the likes of an FTX again? And the answer is probably no. There is not going to be a cryptocurrency exchange that comes in, flashes a ton of money, buys up $300 million worth of real estate, promises to build a headquarters to rival Google, right? And is going to train a ton of Bahamians in digital assets and blockchain technology, and just going to change the scenery of the Bahamas when it comes to this fintech stuff. Not going to happen again. FTX was 1 in a million when it came to that. And maybe that's part of why they are where they are now. No other cryptocurrency exchange was doing things the way they were doing things. And I think it's a bit unfair for people to start saying that this is not going to be a problem. It is already a problem for a bunch of Bahamians, for a group of Bahamians, for people who depended on this business for certain things, for something new in their life, right? It's like, so a lot of people got this new burgeoning company as a client, and things were doing good. The future was bright and rosy, and now they've lost it, right? That's not a good thing. And but will we see another FTX again? No. That's just my thought. Graham has been talking about the Bahamas creating its own exchange. That's a very interesting concept, and he talked about Conch Coin, and there's nothing stopping anybody from doing it. But learn the lesson from FTX. Learn the lessons from Sam Bankman-Fried. Do it better. That's what this is all about. This is all about not repeating the mistakes of the people who are going before us in this industry. Why is this person retexting the same text that they sent before that I already read? Let's take this call. Yeah. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, Chester. How you doing?
Good. Good morning.
Yeah. I hope we never see another FTX. However, I do hope we see some more exchanges.
Yeah.
Not just from CEX, which is which FTX was the cryptocurrency exchange, but also in the other non-cryptocurrency space, some DEX is here, which is the decentralized exchanges. I would say to you that the Bahamas can have companies bigger than FTX, but we are looking at the nickels and stepping over the marlins, the paper marlins. If you look at what is potentially, I don't know if you have your competitor newspaper there. For you, I would like you to read page 12, but I want you to read about the steps that they did for custody of digital assets and understand that that's what it kind of would touch us on just a small fraction of an area in a new data economy for storage of digital assets. The same thing that the commission had to do and go find a foreign international company to hold the assets, and the U.S. have companies that do it. It's exactly what I talked about this being here. Remember I spoke about digital privacy, digital protection, and privacy protection and sovereignty.
Right.
That's where this jurisdiction comes in. It's a multi-trillion-dollar type environment. Just quickly, if I had the resources or the government listening to me, I'd create a spare data center could come here, totally encrypted, offline. But people talk about the hurricanes and everything else. Once the data here is encrypted, what I would do is I will disperse the data around the world, even in other jurisdictions, but it'll be in pods that none of them is functional, independent of itself. So they spread around the world, and somebody tries to even attack one of them, I would literally come back online, change the encryption code across all of them. Let's say I have them in 100 different places, pieces. Change the encryption code across all of them in such a way for 124 or whatever encryption that even the supercomputers around the world will not have access to them, because the main source of the information will be here in the Bahamas and another form of cold storage. It's not as complicated as it sounds. But here's the problem that we have with FTX and with the Commission and others are doing. First, before I answer the problem, let me explain further what Graham is saying or attempting to say. We already have BISEC. The same rule that is missing in all of these exchanges we're trying to attract here, we should look at expanding BISEC's authority to include digital assets being on it. Again, the expertise that you don't have,
right.
you buy. You use to chip your teeth. I'm sure you will not go Google the information. If you have to be a dentist, you go and buy you a dentist for a day or two. So we get the expertise initially setting up. The same type of those people working in the environment of FTX, they were just doing, they were just surface washers, with all due respect. Yes, they may be in high paid or whatever else, but they were not running these computers and these background offices and everything else. They were doing what they would normally do from an office to Somalia, because they were doing business doing business in the Bahamas, but they was not doing, one company was doing business from the Bahamas, but those computations was only being done from the Bahamas, not in the Bahamas. So we just have to have a conversation that, my mom used to say to me that a problem properly stated is 90% of the solution. And we keep talking about the various problems we're facing, but we don't say what they are. DeWitt and others then talk about the ministers and the ministries, and they're going to get locked up and everything, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that we don't even know how our governance is supposed to work. The Westminster system requires MPs or ministers to provide policies to ministries. This is what we spend $300 million, $1 million a day, $300 million a year or so, $1 million a day for these so-called technocrats. The problem we've been having is we've been having 5-year celebrities trying to run ministries. They have no understanding of the intricacies of them. They're supposed to just provide the policies and the outline of what the programs they want, and these technocrats are supposed to run these ministries. So if we just get these guys with the arrogance of ignorance out of these ministries, maybe we can have proper government, because technocrats with years and decades of experience can actually run these places. And so if we stop playing governing, maybe we can have it. But when you talk about the lack of information, this is the time for those individuals, if the Progressive Liberal Party is serious about the Bahamas reputation, they will come back with a legislative agenda for January with freedom of information, not that garbage. And the problem is the garbage we have. The problem is that freedom of information has no context for the new digital reality we live in. They would come back with an accountability bill, a transparency bill, an anti-corruption bill, an integrity bill. So, these bills will come out so you can simply say, I can walk up to a minister or a former or a government employee or something and then tell them, I don't have to ask you if you commit something. I can ask you, prove where you got those assets from, because basically from the public domain, we don't see where you could afford it. And so we would then have to come up with data legislation, but digital legislation. We have to also come up with antitrust, anti-corruption legislation. We need, for Bahamians who are paranoid, we need an immigration reform. We need campaign reform. We're going to need land reform, so that when the Bahamas become so valuable, Bahamians don't end up with nothing. And so we have full conversation that we could have on the direction the Bahamas must go in the 21st century. But we're having this thing where we have our leadership spend the entire parliament looking back about, I'm not as I'm not as bad as you. Can you imagine a country, or do you know of a country that sits down and where one administration sits down and says, we're not as corrupt as you?
Yeah.
You understand? We're saying, we are not as corrupt as the previous administration. We're not as inept as the previous administration. We're not as incompetent as the previous administration. That simply says, I'm inept, but I'm not as inept as you. I am incompetent, but I'm not as incompetent as you.
Yeah.
I am incapable, but not as... How do you argue concerning your ineptness, incompetence, and capabilities? And so we have to begin to have conversations looking forward. But the problem is that you need people who have the ability to look forward and anticipate. The best way to guarantee the future is said to build it. But we're not building anything. We're actually copying things badly. The DARE bill is a badly constructed bill. And I would love for someone in government, especially a technology minister, I would love for someone for the commission to challenge me on this. This thing is worse than a sieve for what we want to do for our reputation. FTX was not the problem. Our fantasy was that we believed that the DARE bill gave us the capability to regulate an FTX. fantasy. This thing about, oh, well, we'll get other people and people are here, this is a glaring aspect to show that we do not possess the tools or the relevant variables in competence on a commission to regulate this industry. You have giants of companies with budgets, just in one department is equal to our entire national budget, who is struggling with this. But the problem is that very few people in the world, and you could go and look at the tens of thousands of programmers, there's a certain key people who learn how to program from people who have written the language. There are behemoths that I'm well aware of that was in the early days from the 80s that are still alive, functioning and working. It's some of the best programmers in the world that understands this, that understands from the infrastructural level what this is. This is not painting a house and saying we have a wonderful environment, now you all can come live in our house with a no-rules house. We have the opportunity to build from the ground up on this environment.
Yeah.
What is FTX is? What is that FTX did? They managed the intangible. So you cannot think of this as an intangible environment. So essentially, what is the intangible in the digital sphere? It's all data. So we don't need a dare bill. We need a data bill to first define what data is. Then we need a digital legislation that actually tells you how data should be managed, kept, and whatever, built upon a host of different things. And because we are small and we're inviting companies to come in one by one as we begin to build, advance, and whatever, we can do this. Countries like the United States, China, and everything, they have such a vast trove of data, even for them to convert to where we're going to go would take them decades. So we have to build forward for all of the new entrants in the market and people who are small enough to come here. This is why I say we should build on people, because there'll always be production of people in the country and the world. I'm sorry, among the 8 billion or more people that want data privacy, that want data protection, that want data sovereignty. But we can't keep talking about how do we repaint this house to make it attractive. This is a defective house because you have opened the door for money laundering. I could tell you how to run money through this into the billions of dollars. This opened the door for drug trafficking, kidnappers, scammers, all of these different things, because we have limited this so-called dare bill, what we call digital assets, to this concept called cryptocurrencies, ignoring all the other areas of what is called digital assets, or in all the other areas of even crypto. And digital assets is documents, audio, video, images, graphics, logos, slides, presentation, files, websites, music. All of these things are digital data.
Yeah.
And so they need protection in this new economic reality we're in. And so I just wish that we would not depend on the arrogance of ignorance of the 5-year celebrities. In 5 years, they're going to be gone. We need plans for decades into the future. Every single year, for me, I think we should have a 5-year plan. That means let's look every January 1st at the plan we have and see if it moves 5 years into the future. The next January, let's move it again. So we never have a fixed guidepost for which we say, oh, this is where we are seeing that we have made this much room in 3 years. Well, guess what? The technology field and data field changes almost on a daily basis. So that means you have to have a dynamic national development strategy, because planning and strategy are two different things, that actually changes and evolves, and have people who are custodian of that future vision for the country. Yeah. I'm hoping that if this administration doesn't get it right, the administration of Michael Pentad would start looking at what I'm saying right now and begin to shape policy moving into that direction, and don't depend on the arrogance of his candidates to do it, and look for people on the outside of his organization to help develop the vision. But 21st century Bahamas, we're 50 years old, time to take off the diapers, pull up our big boy pants, and act like adults.
So before you go, tell me something. What do you make of the people who were praising the Dare Act? Like Crypto Bahamas, we saw a lot of that.
Right. You know what I think of this, right? Imagine house guy that breaks into the house for a living, right? He has no intent on stopping. And you say you have this new alarm, and all the burglars in the world start praising you as the most perfect place for the alarm. I begin to become suspect. You don't have somebody tell you how great your product is. Let the actions prove it. Those individuals, and we're seeing with SBF, right, even in what he was trying to do, this is the wild, wild west. This reminds me of the 80s. You know, when in 1982, when TCP came in, and then again in 92 when the World Wide Web came around. A lot of people don't understand. The World Wide Web is only since 1992, where you can put in words to go to your website.
Right.
And then do you remember the big bust? The thousands of companies, all the digital companies around the world. Everybody and their mama had a digital company, supposed to be in the garage. How many of them exist? 99.99% of them have disappeared. This is where we are right now. And so this is what I'm saying to you. If you was to have a public display and bring your professionals, because I was there at the birth of the first digital revolution in 1982, and I've seen the second technological revolution in the 90s. This is not me watching. This is me being in and participating. In 2009 to 2012, I was one of the people, the Bitcoin absolutionists, or whatever it is, right? Where I believe 100% in Bitcoin, not in fiat the way they have integrated the two. I was there when the white paper was released, and we worked at this all the way through until 2012 or so, when it became almost a convoluted type environment. I understand the power of DeFi. I understand even the integration of centralized as a matter of trust and exchanges, but it has nothing to do with fiat. And so it seems as if we have taken a broken product and want to build an economy around it. It doesn't work like that, because what happens is eventually crypto currency. There's only one cryptocurrency. The rest of them are altcoins, manufactured. You can increase the supply of those other coins whenever they want by a small group of people. And I hear people, there's only one cryptocurrency if you want to look at it in the purest sense, and that's Bitcoin. So when you bring these exchanges in, if 99.98% of all cryptocurrency in the world is scams and fake, this is not me saying this. This is people like FTX will tell you this if they were being honest. Mm-hmm. And the other places in the country will tell you that 99.98% of these coins are scams and rug pull and everything else. Then ask yourself a question. Why do you have it on your exchange? Yeah. Why? Because it's for them making money. They don't care. Yeah. They care about the commission basis or whatever else of that sort. And so when you start thinking about this, what you need to do, and this whole concept of proof of assets, when you talk about proof of assets, if the government starts saying that, they're basically saying we're going to now create a central bank, because you cannot keep proof of assets in any format. Language, this is linguistic gymnastics. You cannot keep proof of assets on a digital asset in the concept of monetary value. It is impossible. I would love for somebody to tell me how. What they're simply saying is they're saying one thing to the ignorance of the global leadership, and then they then shape a policy around a non-reality when digitization exists. I put to you, there are some people in the U.S., I know many of them from previous association for 20 years, and there are people in Israel, and there are people in Russia, and people in China know exactly what I'm talking about. You may call them intelligence services, but the intelligence services knows what's going to happen and exactly where it's going to end up. They're not going to come down from their ivory tower and get into this pigsty, this manure type environment. But when you hear China and the U.S., what Donald Trump and them was doing, fighting for digital supremacy, the Bahamas hold the key. The Bahamas hold the key for what Russia, the U.S., and China is fighting for. We are the linchpin for bringing parity between all of them. And we are trying to copy yesterday's ideology and technology. This is where we simply decide what we want to be, and if the expertise is not in the Bahamas, we need the vision. We buy the expertise we need to build it. And so what is missing in the Bahamas is both leadership and leadership with vision, not people telling you what their ideas are and what their plans are. Let them be able to defend the execution to show that they're in possession of a strategy for it. We love to fall for blueprint for change and all of these books of things. And when you ask individuals or even a collective ministers to defend what's in that book, 99.9% of them probably cannot, because we're simply saying, this will sound good to the ears of the behemoth, this will sound good to the ears of the behemoth, this will sound good to the ears of the behemoth. What we need now is leadership that is willing to accept its ignorance and put people around them that can shape and build the next Bahamas. For behemoths that are yet to be born. The world, whether we like it or not, isn't going digital. The world is digital. They're just trying to figure out how to manage it, and you can see that happening right now with the major digital companies laying off people and trying to figure out what to do. Because we are in the first convergence revolution, the second digital revolution, third technology revolution, fourth industrial revolution, and fifth social revolution. Never in recorded history has these things have ever aligned at beyond more than 2 or 3. And so here it is that this multiplex of information is happening, and the world experts don't know exactly where it's going to go. And we can help by ignoring the way it's going to go and become custodian of the oil. You know how long oil has been around? Oil has been around for 100 years, right, or whatever. Oil, as we know it, for the so-called carbon argument, will be around for another 100 years. I'm simply saying is that let's become the OPEC of the new data economy, or not even greater than the OPEC, because we don't need a collection of people. We will dictate exactly how the data economy goes and how the world moves and generates by becoming a custodian of the world assets. That's all I'm saying. We become custodian of the world assets, and as of today, we're the only people who could do it. If I had the opportunity to have a group of people that believe what I'm saying, I would have Grand Bahama and Abaco seek for succession from the Bahamas to become a separate country, and we'll do it on those two islands.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Okay, let's take this last break before we got to wrap up the show.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know.
Fidelity, we're good for you. I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Okay, class, let's begin today's history lesson. Ancient civilization used to visit stadiums to watch musicians perform. It was called a live concert.
Teacher, what year was that?
Researchers believe it was around 2019. Normal life feels like a long time ago. As things return to normal, remember it is essential to be fully immunized against all vaccine-preventable diseases like COVID-19, rubella, polio, hepatitis, mumps, and influenza. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Government of Canada, and the United States of America.
The Better Network is giving you bigger savings at Alive's Black Friday sale. With select store and van locations opening as early as 6 a.m. Purchase devices as low as $29 and receive doorbuster prizes, accessories, and so much more. Don't want to wait? Alive customers can beat the Black Friday rush and shop online as early as 12 a.m. with even more deals. Friday the 25th of November, Alive's Black Friday sale. You don't want to miss it. Visit BeAlive.com for more information.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning, welcome back to Morning Blend. I'm Chester Robards, and just wrapping up Morning Blend. This text message coming in saying, why is the media acting as the mouthpiece for the crypto skeptics, established financial systems, and those heavily invested in the status quo? Is this payback for FTX not buying ads with The Guardian? Where's the balance? I don't understand what you're saying. Acting as a mouthpiece for crypto skeptics? I don't know. I mean, are you suggesting that cryptocurrency is all good? All of it? Again, a lot of people think that Bitcoin is the only safe bet in cryptocurrency. Are you saying that we shouldn't criticize FTX and its FTT coin? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. This person says, is this the C. Allen show? Come on. That's all you got to say? Make it your show. Contribute. How about that? So, no, the media is not a mouthpiece for anyone. The media talks about all things, right? Good or bad, right or wrong, to get to the bottom of whatever it is, the truth, right? Whatever that truth may be. So, no, we're not a mouthpiece. And as I started this saying, the media has a obligation to get their information correct and should not just try to be the first to put information out. That's not really why we're here. We're here for accuracy and not speed, right? And to hold people accountable, to hold everyone accountable. You know, people love to talk about, who this paper for, who that paper for. Who they talk about more, who they talk about less. So, no. We're not a mouthpiece for any side. We are trying to analyze all sides. You with me? All right. One final text message coming in. Morning, Chester. Let Dwight take the rest of the year off. You're doing an excellent job, my brother. I thank you. I appreciate you. And no, Dwight can't take the rest of the show off. The rest of the year off. He said, make it the Sea Island show. He said more than the media global included about the Bahamas. Yeah. Yesterday, when the media asked all the MPs about FTX, was that fire insurance strategy or just simple journalism or all of the above? Huh? I mean, you got to ask. You got to start somewhere. All right, that's Morning Blend for today. Stick around for Morning Blend Business. We are talking with Island Pay. That's up next.
It's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business. Welcome to the show and welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. I'm Chester Robar, still sitting in. I don't know if I'm fitting in. Sitting in for Dwight Strachan. He's back on Tuesday, in case any of you were wondering. And we are talking with Managing Director of Island Pay Group Limited, Jeffrey Beckles. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chester. Good morning, Bahamas.
Just grab your microphone there and get a little closer.
Good to be back with you.
Yeah, just straighten it up.
Straighten it up a little more.
We got
Is that better?
That's great.
Ah, fantastic.
Perfect. So we are talking about what Island Pay has got going on, and there's a lot going on, apparently. So just tell us about Island Pay. What is Island Pay? I think most people know by now digital wallet. They know sand dollar. They know payment transfers, those kinds of things. But how does it go all together for Island Pay?
Well, thank you. Island Pay right now is the leading digital payments solution in the Bahamas. We've been around since 2018. Very, very much involved with the delivery of digital wallets here in the Bahamas, sand dollar enabled. We have been the leader in terms of making sand dollar global. In that we are the only payment services provider in the country that provides domestic and global access and use of the wallet. All others are domestic.
Right.
And what do I mean by that? Because we own our own MasterCard license, we, Bahamian, can load their digital wallet with sand dollar and literally begin shopping automatically around the world. Every other domestic wallet is just domestic.
Right.
And that gives us not only a leading edge, but it allows us then to really deliver financial inclusion to many Bahamians who would generally be left outside the traditional banking ecosystem, can't get a debit card, can't get a credit card, have really limited access to traditional banking resources and tools.
Right.
What that has now done is enabled us then to not just be very pro-Sand Dollar, but in terms of use case, provide the average Bahamian tools to access global commerce.
Right.
If you were to think about the number of Bahamians who are at the airport every day, paying someone to use their credit card because they don't have a credit or debit card to pay for baggage, to pay for duty, to pay for other things at the airport or when they travel, it's a huge number.
Right.
And then when you think of the unbanked and the underbanked sector in the Bahamas, that's a significant number of our working class who don't have a mainstream relationship with the bank. We're providing those tools that allows everyday Bahamians to now have access that they didn't have 40, 50 years ago.
Right.
Then we also, because of our relationship with MasterCard, enables Bahamians to also have prepaid gift cards. You can walk up to a kiosk, put in your phone number, and buy a prepaid MasterCard up to $500, and off you go. Right. And we're seeing that trend grow more and more and more for persons who simply just want the convenience of a card.
Yeah.
And then what makes this all more reasonable for the Bahamian consumer is the low cost. The digital wallet is free. There's a one-time $10 charge for a MasterCard, a plastic card.
Right.
There's also a free virtual MasterCard in the wallet, which is very different from any other payment services provider in the country.
Okay.
In addition to that, there's no monthly fee, there's no maintenance fee, there's no annual fee to the consumer.
Right.
When you would be paying significant amounts of fees on your regular bank card, whether it's monthly, annually, or otherwise, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
On the settlement side for the merchant, our cards settle beginning at 2% when the other cards that you may have in your wallet settle between 3 and 5.5%.
Right.
So when we're talking about solutions, we're not just talking about a business model.
Yeah.
We're talking about bringing tools to the marketplace that will change the way Bahamians are able to have access in the first instance.
Right.
It will reduce the cost because that's what digital currencies do, because you don't require all the brick and mortar and all the hands required now.
Right.
With the migration of the global space to cashless, it provides Bahamians access to a global cashless environment. And by that, what I mean is oftentimes we get this pushback from Bahamians about cash, propensity to love cash, and that's a fact. Regionally, it's the same. But we can't ignore the fact that the world is moving away from a cash-centric society.
Yeah.
Our solutions enable the Bahamian who is we're typically slow in transition. Our solutions enable Bahamians to have access to cash while at the same time using our digital wallet to begin to understand how easy and how secure it is to move to a digital or a cashless environment.
Right.
So we've kind of taken the view that there's no straight line between where we are and where we need to get. We bent the line to accommodate the learning curve.
Got you.
More recently, last month, we launched a very innovative solution for the small business community.
Right.
Small businesses are the backbone of our economy, like it is in many other countries. This is Small Business Month, and we launched a digital wallet for SMEs.
Specific wallet
For SMEs. One of the things that you would note that of all, while we tout the value of the small business merchant in the Bahamas, small businesses are left out of the ecosystem because most small businesses don't have a relationship with the bank.
Right.
They don't have a relationship. You're talking about the hair braider, the jet ski guy, the taxi driver, the livery service provider, the craft seller on the beach, the guy selling beach chairs, the guy selling towels. he's operating a legal business, but he doesn't have a relationship with the bank. On the other hand, how does he interact with his customers who are digital? So many of them are tourists, right? So we've created a sound dollar solution for him so that he now is able to transact business. He is able to cash out at the end of the day because he may not want all of his sound dollar transferred to his bank account to fiat. He may want some of that money to carry home. Well, he can go right to the kiosk, withdraw some of that cash, transfer the rest to his bank account, or leave it in his wallet, or use it to spend against his expenses for his business using his debit card, which he has the ability to load right in the palm of his hand. The other piece, to close the end loop of that, the closed loop of that is we launched the first ever tourist wallet, Sound Dollar wallet. Now, that's incredible for several reasons. We have millions of tourists that come here. They're all coming here today as digital tourists, whether they're in Eleuthera, Long Island, San Salvador, Ragged Island, Cat Island. What our solution now enables, under the current rules, the tourists can purchase up to $5,000 in sound dollar. Now, all of a sudden, and every tourist 16 and older, $5,000 can be purchased for his visit, which means now we've now put that digital tourist and the local small businessman on a direct path to do business. Never done before in the Bahamas. What that now we talk about inclusion, that's real inclusion, because now we're enabling and empowering him or her in their small business to be able to take advantage of this huge surge in tourists returning to the Bahamas. We've now opened the door for John and Susie Q to be able to interact with them, whether you're in Eleuthera, and again, on the Family Islands, where this is a huge problem because tourists aren't coming to the Bahamas with a pocket full of cash anymore. And so when we talk about real innovation, when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about empowerment, these are not just words that we take lightly at Island Pay. We say, how do we make this sustainable? How do we look down the road and see where the Bahamas has to go, right? Whether we are pro-cash or not, here's the solutions, because they don't have banks anymore on the Family Islands. But you want to know something even more incredible? Within those apps, you can load your wallet with your current bank account details. You can take money from your bank account and transfer it to your wallet, where you now have the ability to do more with your own money that your traditional bank account wouldn't allow you to do before. Right? And so you're talking about enabling and empowering. That's what we're doing at Island Pay, and that's why we're happy to celebrate that. And then, of course, in today's paper, you see a huge, in The Guardian, you see this launch of this partnership with Alive and Island Pay, where the Alive is going to be featured in our app and at our kiosks. So all Alive customers have the app, and they can access all of Alive services, and in particular, some of their latest promotions. You'll find that the Alive community is, you see that? It's there, live, it's open. So they can purchase their plans right there. They can do all of their transactions with Alive right there. Why is that important? Because every Alive customer now not only has the ability to access the Alive services, but using their app, along with the other benefits like the virtual MasterCard and the physical plastic MasterCard and all the bill pay features, it's all there. But here's the beauty of it. Having all of that as an enhanced part of our app, it's costing you less money. Because we don't charge you to load your bank account. We don't charge you to deposit monies to your account. If you transfer, obviously there's a transfer fee when you transfer money from your bank account to your wallet. But when you look at the low cost of doing that versus standing in line, going to get gas, buying gas, and having to drive downtown, find somewhere to park, and you spend 45 minutes trying to get there, it's worth a couple of cents that we're going to charge you to do that. So again, it's cost effective, it's liberating, it's inclusive. We're delivering what we promised the Bahamian people, real solutions. And that's why Island Pay is excited about being in these partnerships.
Yeah, so many questions that you raised. So starting out, talking about the Family Islands, because the central bank digital currency, Sand Dollar, was kind of made for them. in mind.
In mind.
And so with Island Pay, what is the adoption looking like in the Family Islands?
Adoption in the last year has been better, but it's by comparison, it's still slower because, again, there's an education, there's a comfort level that needs to be. When it comes to people and their money, Bahamians and their money, they only want to know, okay, where's my money? Can I have access to it? And they want to make sure that it's safe and secure. Well, it is safe and secure, right? We're very highly regulated. Like any other financial institution here in the Bahamas, all of our banks. In fact, we were probably more closely monitored than even the traditional banks in some cases, right? But adoption has been slower, and we're ramping that up.
Right.
The fact that banks are leaving the Family Islands is helping as well, because what small business owners and consumers in the Family Islands now realize, with the Island Pay app, I really don't need a bank.
Right.
Because I can get my payroll sent directly to my wallet. I have the option of going, if I want a few dollars in my pocket, fine. If not, I could use my card. I can shop locally and I can shop internationally. And then they can see their money.
Right.
But then they can also transfer money to their bank account to meet their bank commitments.
Right.
If I make $1,000 a week and I need to pay $200 to the bank, I don't have to worry about that. I can take my phone, attach my bank account to it, and send that $200 from my own phone without any intermediary, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the kinds of things. And so you'll see us ramping up our presence in the islands in the start of 2023, which we feel is this current resurgence we're in with tourism is going to aid that.
Right.
Because more and more small businesses in the Family Islands, the fisherman, the tour guide who wants to take people bone fishing or fishing for a half day or full day, how does he get paid from the customer? We're enabling that. So I think the timing is perfect for us because the Bahamas is still a hot tourist item, and people need to know, how do I get engaged with these tourists who are coming here?
Absolutely, that's quite true. So tell us about the new MSME wallet.
Right.
How does it work? Is it some new KYC stuff that you have to deal with? Is it? Do you need to present like a business license?
Well, it's fully KYC'd, right? Like our other wallets, requiring a driver's license, an NIB card.
Right.
You must have an NIB card, and you must provide one of the following: either a current driver's license or a passport or voter's card.
Right.
What we do is then we go and we verify that Chester is who Chester says he is.
Right.
And we then approve his account, and he's now enabled. He can get access to all the full features of the app, including the virtual card, and then he can apply for his $10 MasterCard, which will come to him in 7 to 10 days, fully enabled with all the latest security features. It has a typical expiry date of 3 years, and then we renew it, right? And so it's that easy for an SME merchant to sign up and get started. It's very, very, very easy. No sign-up fees, no monthly fees, no annual fees.
And does that wallet start at, because I know in the personal wallets that you can only hold a certain amount depending on the level you're at.
The levels for the SME wallet are higher than that.
Okay.
Right now, you can deposit up to, in your consumer wallet, you can deposit up to $1,000 a day. Right. Without any issues. Right. And as the ecosystem evolves with the central bank and the regulators, of course, we will see those limits expand. Because remember, this is new for the country, and I don't think we really appreciate the extraordinary step that the central bank of the Bahamas took when it launched Sand Dollar. We were the first one to launch in the world. That was huge. We're not getting on that bandwagon. We're not yielding that for the value it has brought to the Bahamas, right? And Bahamians really need to celebrate that. We need to celebrate that, but more than celebrate it, we need to start supporting it. At the end of the day, we all hear our dependency on the government. What are you going to do for the small business? What are you going to do to make opportunities available? Well, the solutions that we provide in the private sector are an integral part of that door opening for participation, right? I was telling someone just the other day, while the adoption may be slower in the Bahamas, what we are finding is there are more and more people, entities that we are interacting with and doing business with who are not taking cash anymore. So while we may be cash-centric, we're engaging more and more purveyors who are not taking anything other than digital payments.
Right.
Atlantis went digital, and we went, whoa, geez, what are we going to do? Well, we adapted.
Yeah,
Bahama went cashless, and they go, oh, God, what do we... Well, we adapted. NAD, right, went cashless. And by the way, one of the beautiful things about NAD is that when you got to pay $2 and $3 and $4 or $5 for parking, wouldn't it be great if you had your $100 wallet where you didn't have to worry about that?
Yeah.
$2 is $2. You open your phone, you scan and pay, and you're out the gate. It's true. Solution. Very, very good solution. The airlines said, we're not taking cash anymore. What do? Bahamas and all the airlines are full for the rest of the year. But that's Bahamians adapting, right? So there's no doubt that we can adapt to better solutions. It's time for us to understand that these solutions are, not so much the future. They're now.
Yeah.
And so we need to adapt.
Absolutely. Just want to ask some more questions about the MSME wallet, but what does it come with in terms of hardware? And is that extra stuff that you can get to run your business?
Well, the software, the solution, the digital wallet is a payment acceptance and solution that allows you to manage your income and to be able to interact with a broader base customer base, right? And so it allows you, it's really a payment gateway that allows you to get your money and you decide how you want to manage it from there. And that's the reason we have the features built in there to either transfer the money out or load your card and spend it against your business needs, right? So that's the solution we provide.
Is it able to accept just like a regular debit card payment?
What we have done with our initial offering is we want it to be more $100 centric.
Okay, gotcha.
Because at the end of the day, the longer we keep allowing the high cost cards as a part of our ecosystem, guess what's going to continue to happen? The merchant and the consumer are going to continue to pay more.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So while we would love to do that, we're saying, hey, wait a minute, guys. If we keep doing that, it's really going to throttle and destroy the business model because there's no point in becoming digital if you're going to continue to flaunt the idea of paying more money. The idea is to pay less and save more.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is part of the push to get more use out of the $100. And it really takes no time to download the wallet if you don't have it.
You can be onboarded in as little as 4 or 5 minutes, right? And begin to practice. And here's the beauty of it. The way the platform is designed, there's no pressure.
Right.
You learn it at your pace and you have the ability to ask questions. We have 24/7 support network built in. But literally, the steps are laid out in such a way that you can use it at your own pace and become a pro at it without even going to a session. Right. And that's real solutions, right? And so we want Bahamians to understand that it's very easy. The digital wallets are free, right? And you can be onboarded for free, right? When you get to the point of wanting to order a card, it's $10. We spend more than $10 on nothings, right? But it's a solution.
Yeah.
We have parents who have been able to send their children money using their wallet.
Right.
No long bank lines, no longer how I have to take up my lunchtime and go stand in line and do this and do that. No, it's part of the digital revolution. And yes, digital currency, digital payments are going to really become the great disruptor.
Yeah.
Today, it is estimated that by the end of 2023, 1/8 of the world will only be using digital payment solutions.
Yeah.
By 2025, that will jump to about 30% of the world's population.
Yeah. I joke all the time, and I tell people that the fellas on the side of the road
Listen to
asking
me.
for $1 gonna have to soon get a cheap phone.
But check this out. You go to most North American cities,
Mhm.
the guy selling water on the street is accepting digital payments.
Yeah.
For his water
Yeah.
or his peanuts.
Yeah.
You can imagine the peanut guys on by Meadow Street and Blue Hill Road there by Wesley's, who sell peanuts every day.
Mhm.
He is going to be able to accept his $1 payment or $2 for his bag of peanuts
Yeah.
on his phone.
On his phone, yeah.
They're doing this in major countries around the world, major cities around the world.
Mhm,
We are the only one of the few who feel that, oh boy, if I do this, I'm going to sacrifice my first child. No, you won't.
Yeah.
You're making your life easy. And by the way, your children, your daughter, who's 4 months old, is growing up in a digital world. She will probably by the time she gets around to the age, she'll never see cash.
It's true.
Right? So we can't deny, we can't deny it. We talk about schools. Guess what? Schools are going to be converting in record numbers very soon to a digital platform.
Yeah.
So we have to change our view about the cell phone. Yeah, the cell phone may have its challenges, right? But the truth of the matter is, almost every child going to school soon
Yeah.
is going to have to carry a cell phone
It's true.
because his money is going to be digital.
Yeah.
Her money is going to be digital, and he or she's going to have to pay for the bus, pay for lunch, pay for her books, pay for the tour, the school tour, pay for dress-up day, and all them using her phone.
It's true.
It's here.
That's right. Not on the way.
Not
It
on the
is
way.
here. It is here. Let's take our break then, and Morning Blend Business will be back to continue our conversation with Island Pay.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Helping out each other, family and everybody. It's a simple act of kindness with you, me, and RBC.
This Christmas, let's spread some good together with RBC. Share your acts of kindness stories on RBC's Caribbean Facebook and Instagram pages, and a registered charity of your choice could be selected to receive a donation from RBC because it feels good to do good.
Showing acts of kindness, RBC.
Hey girl, what you saying?
Really, ready? I ain't looking at my dress. You ready for this big party?
Party? Girl, you gonna have to change your birthday because I can't make that. After my party, I get a cough. I start having a fever. And then I even had a sore throat. I thought it was the flu. Come to find out it was COVID. Girl, I think you better get tested.
What do you do now? I can't be bothered with COVID, you know.
Girl, you know it ain't never too late to change your plans. Girl, you know they got new testing sites, right? You better go to one of them.
Where are these new sites located anyway?
University of the Bahamas and Golden Gates Plaza. They're open on weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on weekends from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They even have sites in Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma, and they're opened on the weekends. Girl, the best part is, it's free.
Thanks for letting me know. I hope you feel better soon.
Message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Fidelity, we're good for you. We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And it's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Small Business Development Center Access Accelerator signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nature Conservancy yesterday that forms a 4-year strategic partnership that includes $400,000 to fund projects in the blue economy and a blue economy accelerator program. SBDC Executive Director Samantha Roll said during a press conference yesterday to mark the signing of the MOU that the application process for the program could begin by the middle of 2023. She said, quote, "We propose the creation of a Blue Economy Accelerator program in an effort to develop the sectors associated with the blue economy and bring high-value jobs and wealth through advancing entrepreneurial and innovation support to MSMEs." In the Bahamas. And complex transaction dispute resolution provider MyChargeback is warning cryptocurrency users to be aware of crypto scammers this Black Friday and Cyber Monday, who will prey on individuals who have been affected by the year-long crypto winter and the recent collapse of cryptocurrency exchange FTX. MyChargeback said in a statement that with crypto values plunging, there will be fake cryptocurrency recovery firms taking advantage of the weakened cryptocurrency environment. They say, quote, "Since the so-called crypto winter began in November 2021, Bitcoin and Ether have dropped close to 75% from their peak, and they were the lucky ones. All told, the cryptocurrency industry lost over $2 trillion in value over the past year, but then it got even worse. In June, Celsius, a pioneering cryptocurrency lender, filed for bankruptcy, revealing that its balance sheet was $1.2 billion in the red. And then this month came the collapse of FTX, which is estimated to have wiped out as much as $32 billion off the ledgers." And the BPSU president hints at possible industrial action. Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsey Ferguson suggested industrial action is the next move in his union's bid to get a signed industrial agreement after not being able to get an audience with Prime Minister Philip Davis. Ferguson, who hinted at industrial action during an appearance on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, said the terms of his industrial agreement will affect some 5,000 public service workers. And Sterling Global's Mortgage Income Fund is turning 10 years old and has more than $1 billion in projects under development in the Bahamas. A statement on the fund explained. Sterling Global Financial Chairman David Kasoy said the fund has provided a consistent yield despite volatile capital markets and economic shifts. He said, "We are very proud of our track record. The Sterling Mortgage Income Fund has succeeded in protecting investor capital while providing a very attractive income stream." In business news overseas, the UK police target spoofing site in a massive fraud crackdown. More than 70,000 potential victims of banking scams across the UK will receive text messages from police on Thursday asking for their help in what authorities are calling their biggest ever anti-fraud operation. British authorities have already arrested more than 100 people after taking down a website they described as an international one-stop spoofing shop. London's Metropolitan Police Services said Spoofing refers to fraudsters who disguise their phone numbers to make potential victims believe a call is coming from a trusted source, such as their own bank. Police are now contacting fraud victims who lost tens of millions of pounds to encourage them to report the crimes and help authorities prosecute thousands of suspected scammers who used the iSpoof website. One victim alone was conned out of £3.2 million, police said. That's your morning business report, brought to you by C-File, growing wealth for future generations. Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards. We are talking with Jeffrey Beckles, the Managing Director of Island Pay Group Limited, doing some great things with digital wallets, got new products, and this is good. Just want to touch on some of these text messages that have come in quickly. The person says, sorry, this global move for central bank digital currencies is borrowing from the China model where the state can cut funds if you have an opinion contrary to the status quo. Beware. No.
I guess you would know by now, being on the radio, you get a lot of opinions.
Oh, yeah.
Most of it is unfounded.
I don't know what kind of government they think we have.
Right.
We certainly don't have a Chinese government.
But you know, the truth about it is any government could do that now.
Yeah.
They didn't need to get to a digital currency. They can see your emails. They can listen to your phone calls. They can see what you have in the bank. They can, there's very little about you or I that the government didn't already know.
Yeah. This person says, seems that this app and gateway fits right into the global digital commerce ecosystem that Critical Think has been promoting for years. Maybe they should team up with him along with the central bank, as they need a better voice for Sand Dollar and its use. Have Critical Thinker use his seemingly free time to educate and advocate among Bahamians and MSMEs for faster adoption.
One point I'll take away from that, I think it speaks to the fact that there needs to be greater collaboration and participation and support, right? We often brag about the extensive number of experienced person, talent, giftedness in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Well, these are some of the exercises that we can bring these minds. And guess what? Even though central bank or any of the regulatory bodies may not personally engage you, once you understand where we're going and what we're attempting to do, you can get on the bandwagon and become a champion for that cause. You don't need to necessarily be retained, because at the end of the day, what we're doing, Chester, is not about, while we have a business model, it's bigger than a business model.
Right.
It's about where the Bahamas will be and how we can provide Bahamians the tools necessary to ensure that the Bahamas keeps up with the global pace.
Absolutely. This person says, good morning, tell Jeffrey he makes NCA proud.
Very good. Go NCA.
Hey, my wife went to NCA.
There you go then.
Them phonics classes was worth it. Jeffrey needs to have a talk with Aeropost because they don't take your debit card.
Well, again, it's about collaboration. It's about connecting.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can begin to expand that this ecosystem to where more persons will do so. But, as a matter of fact, thanks for the idea. Appreciate that.
There you go. But tell us more about, we want to talk about the card and how it works, how people get it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and again, the card is very easily accessible. Yeah. Once you download the app and you submit your KYC, which is the NIB card and any other government-issued ID like a driver's license, passport, or voter's card, we put you in the system to verify who you are and your account is approved. In the app, your virtual card will appear, and then you have the option of requesting a card, a physical card that you can take with you.
Right.
one of the other things about the app is that because people ask, so why do you need the photo ID and why do you need to take a selfie, right? Part of the security feature is that we do liveliness tests. In other words, we know that when Chester takes that selfie, he goes into our system, we can do liveliness tests to make sure that the ID that he provided us is the same person who just took that selfie, part of that security ecosystem. So now that the holidays are here, we want Bahamians to go ahead and download, because guess what? Just like the partnership that was announced today, right? Bahamians can now become also benefactors of not just very good options for plans to buy from Alive, but you can also enter to win various prizes, right? For instance, you buy a 7 or 30-day plan, right? You get a gig of data. I mean, who could not use a gig of data, right? And when you use our Island Pay app to access the Alive features, especially for those persons on prepaid plans, that data usage does not accrue to your data. We're covering that. So it's called zero rating, right? So we take care of all of your data while you're using the Alive feature in your phone. So there's a lot. And then the other thing that that's growing in popularity, especially as the holiday season come up and employers want to know how do I reward my employees. Well, employers are buying prepaid cards now, up to $500, and giving them as gifts to their staff. And by extension, you can do that for anyone in your circle who you may not know what to buy them. Well, you can go to our kiosk and buy them a $100 gift card, $150 gift card, $50 gift card, and say Merry Christmas, right? It's a great way to be safe, on the safe side, right? And then we're also finding that as a benefit of the wallet, whether you are an SME or a larger corporation, more and more employees are asking for their payroll to be paid directly into their wallet. Gives them immediate access and more flexibility. So those are some of the things that are really able to enhance the experience. I said earlier that one of the things that we would encourage Bahamians to do, because the app is free, the tutorial is very easy. Download the app. Go to the App Store, whether you have an Apple device or Android. They're all in the app stores. Download the app. Begin to familiarize yourself. Begin to share it with your children. Listen, my mom and my older aunts, they have Island Pay accounts, right? And they're in their 70s and 80s, right? And they're using it. It is literally that simple. Download the app. Just go to your store, download it, begin using it. And of course, there are several components there that allow you to get help if you have questions. But I can almost guarantee you're not going to have any questions in using the app.
Now, where can you use it?
The one great thing about the digital wallet for Island Pay is you could use it anywhere in the world. Your MasterCard, whether it's a virtual card or the physical card, is accepted wherever Visa and MasterCard is accepted around the world. And that is, as I said when we started this conversation this morning, that is what makes Island Pay very, very unique, where we have a locally provided digital wallet with global access. No one else can claim that. You can download your wallet today, get your card in about 7 to 10 days, and off you go. There are no limitations. So sometimes the merchant will say, well, what kind of setup do I need? Well, you accept credit cards now, right? And debit cards now. You don't need any more setup. You really don't. Okay?
So how does that work with the digital card?
It reads it the same way. It settles very differently, though. The merchant will find that I'm not paying the bank all this money to settle when I accept an Island Pay debit card, right? And that's really where the rubber meets the road. It's the cost. As we talk about recession-proofing our lives and our business, everyone is looking at which costs can I reduce. But on the other hand, if you were to also look at the other side of the ledger, how do I increase my revenue? Well, guess what? The more Bahamians we have using Sand Dollar or using our digital wallets with our cards, you're now increasing your opportunity to get more people into your stores because everybody is saving money for the same product. And so we want to challenge business users to think differently. And yes, while this transition to cashless and using digital payment solutions is different, we've all gone through changes. We just had COVID. Did we not adjust?
Yeah.
It proved that we are resilient people. We can't keep speaking resiliency without change.
Yeah.
Part of building more resilient economies is also adapting to the changes necessary for us to become and to maintain our resiliency. And this is one of those. We have a huge opportunity for us.
Quite right. Quite right. We got a call coming in, about this, I hope. Yes, I don't know. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business.
Morning to you and your most learned guest. How are you all?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful, man. Thank God to be alive. Listen, one of your texters texted earlier and said that Aeropost do not take debit card. That's not totally true.
That's not.
I didn't order. Huh?
No. They're talking
Yeah,
specifically.
I didn't
They're
order
talking specifically about Island Pay.
Oh, Island Pay debit card. Oh, because I just said I didn't order about 10 things using my Visa debit card from Aeropost and But yeah, I guess Island Pay could probably liaise with them and get their stuff going because it's a very handy operation.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that as well. And maybe next time you make your purchases with an Island Pay debit card, you will not only save money, but you would now come a testament to the fact that Aeropost does take it.
You're talking about Island Pay now. You see what scandal we in with this FTX thing. How secure is this Island Pay in terms of cybercrime?
Well, our platform is secure, but you're talking sheep and goat. They're two very, very, very different products altogether, and you're talking about the difference between the security of a platform versus the management of the service. So you're talking very distinct issues. But we're very confident in the security of our platform, and we're very proud of it. Yeah. We've had no issues.
Okay.
Thank you for your call.
Thanks for taking my call.
when you talk about MasterCard, I mean, they got a lot of things going on in terms of security.
Yeah, MasterCard. A lot of Bahamians don't really understand, and I'll share this very briefly, what it took for Island Pay to even qualify to be a license holder in the MasterCard regime. It's extraordinary. Do not underestimate what it takes to qualify for a global license of that nature. Yeah. We had to, it's not just about jumping through hoops, but we had to demonstrate to their security division our ability not just to have the requisite security protocols, but our ability to manage in that ecosystem. So a lot has been done to provide this solution to Bahamians, and that alone is again reason to celebrate, because we grossly underestimate the extraordinary work that is being done by many Bahamians. Not only here in the Bahamas, but around the world. And so when you see us land on our feet and say we have our own, not traded, not borrowed, it's our own MasterCard license to issue cards, that is a huge achievement for the Bahamas.
Yeah, I can imagine. And MasterCard doesn't even call themselves a credit card company anymore. No. They call themselves a technology company.
A technology company, right? And so we can do that.
Yeah.
And so that's hugely impressive for Bahamians, not just for Island Pay, but for Bahamians to appreciate the incredible work that's being done on their behalf.
Yeah, quite true. We got another call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business.
Yes, the quality is Strachan White. We need justice, law, and order in this country. But Chester, to your gentleman, several questions. One is, what happens if somebody finds or steals your phone? Secondly, right, it seems like you haven't covered the whole Bahamas. So that it seems like some people are going to get left out, and that would be dragging them back into poverty. Could you explain that to me?
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the question.
Well, thanks for the questions. First of all, with regard to if someone steals your phone, remember your security access to your digital wallet is known to you and you only. So someone stealing your phone doesn't necessarily give them access to it, right? Because the passwords are unique to yours.
Right.
And let me just say this. One of the things that we encourage people, the same way you don't share your personal information about other things that you do, you don't do the same. Do the same with your digital wallets.
Right.
Don't share your passwords. As it relates to the Bahamas, you may not have been listening earlier, But we spoke very specifically to the fact that we develop solutions specific to family islands to give them the tools to enable them to participate. So we are working very diligently with family island solutions, because the truth of the matter is, just in the banking sector alone, those of us here in Nassau have access to things that the other Bahamians and family islands don't. And so our solutions are closing that gap, are intended to close that gap as well.
So talk to us about how many people you have now using Island Pay, and what are you looking forward to in terms of the future?
We are at about 30,000 active wallet holders right now, and about 52,000 users of our product. The difference there being we have many persons who are using our prepaid card product, which is very convenient, and they're buying that directly from the kiosk. We have persons at the airport who are buying our cards because they get to the airport and said, "Oops, I only have cash." They can go over to the kiosk and buy that prepaid MasterCard. So our goal really is to saturate the Bahamas with this solution and work with stakeholders, and that's one of the things that we really want to do, because there are other persons in the digital payment space that don't have card programs like we do. It doesn't mean that we can't work with them, and we're looking to work with them, because at the end of the day, as I said, it's about how well we equipped the Bahamas to be ready to do business globally. So we're open to it, and we're looking forward to it. But so our goal really is to keep pushing Bahamians to be properly equipped, properly tooled, and educated on these digital payments tools. And then our focus is also regional, because Bahamians need to broaden their reach. We know that this market is very small in Bahamas. So our planning, our model covers the region. We're live in Barbados as we speak.
Oh, really?
Very much
Island
so.
Pay.
With the exact same services we're providing. And we're doing government payments there and distributions there as well.
Awesome.
As well as we're offering the same services we offer here. Our goal is to be in several other jurisdictions by the end of 2025.
Yeah. And what's the wallet competition like over there, or even across the Caribbean? I don't even know.
There are several players in the digital wallet space in the Caribbean. We are very proud to say that because of our success here in the Bahamas, our product has been viewed very highly in Barbados, and the private sector and the public sector are very, very excited about it. Good reception so far.
That's absolutely great. And here in the Bahamas, what's the near-term goals of Island Pay? Obviously, even the central bank is talking about expanding and education on Sand Dollar.
Our part of our immediate goal is to really work with the central bank to expand Sand Dollar adoption and use. And that is the reason we took the time, the expense, the diligence to develop our products the way we do, right? Because the Bahamas is going to maintain its commitment to Sand Dollar, and everything that we have done thus far is Sand Dollar enabled in support of the central banks and the Ministry of Finance's commitment to Sand Dollarize the Bahamian economy. And so our goal in the shorter term is to really work with the central bank in deepening the educational curve, helping Bahamians understand the fluidity of Sand Dollar, how easy and how effective it is, how easy it is to manage and handle on a personal, on a merchant basis. And then, obviously, we want more and more entities to appreciate that. Solutions like digital payroll, right? We can help with that. We have great solutions for that. It's cost effective. But more importantly, it saves time, because when you start talking about a landscaping business, a construction business that has to sacrifice 3, 4, 5 hours on a Friday to have employees wait around a bank for someone to go get cash, for someone to sort that cash, for someone to put it in an envelope, and the risks associated with that, much less the time lost, the productive time lost. Well, guess what? That 4 hours, 5 hour loss, we can turn that into a 5 hour gain. Because using our digital payroll solution, we can put that money directly in their wallet, and those men and women can stay on the job until 4 o'clock every Friday. So it's about looking at a holistic solution. So these are the kinds of things that we're bringing to the table inclusive of Sand Dollar education. And then, as I said, we want to focus a lot on the family islands, and by getting adoption there going and watching people see how easy it is to use Sand Dollar and manage it.
Yeah. Before we got to go, tell us how people can use the wallet, what all they can do with it, where they can spend their money, and how with the MSME product, how they can go about getting that as well.
Well, yes, you can go on our website at www.islandpay.com. As a small merchant there, you can call us at 502-8778, and we'll be happy to provide you some information. The wallet is available in the App Store. The tourist wallet, as well as the consumer wallet, they're all available there. And we want consumers, especially now, to download the wallet, start using it. There are great plans, great products in there. You can do bill pay for your utilities. You can top up with telcos locally. You can get those, as well as you can get international plans if you're traveling. Right there, you can do person-to-person transfers. You can do person-to-business transfers and payments. The beauty of it is, wherever Visa and MasterCard are accepted around the world, you have the ability to today begin using your virtual and your MasterCard to in everyday life, whether you want to buy gas, whether you want to buy clothing, whether you shop online. This is the season of shopping online. One of the wonderful things that you can do is to download the app, apply for the card, and begin shopping online today. And our local, some of our local purveyors out there, there are kiosks at the National Stadium, there are kiosks at CBS East and West, and at the Plaza in Southwest, Quality Home Centers, Bargain City on Carmichael Road, Bahama, Kenneth's Food Store in the East, Cafe Johnny Canoe. They're available more and more places around
all over the place.
Yeah, so they're getting out there.
This person says to tell you that the kiosk machine needs a sign that tells you where the card comes out because they left the card there.
All right,
why you leave your card?
Well,
you bought a card.
Just to be sure, there's a dispenser right there below the machine, right by knee level. When you buy a card, the machine kicks your card right out there. So please do not.
If you go to buy a card,
don't
leave
walk
the card.
Don't leave the card.
Slap up the machine to find it. I don't know.
But it's right at the dispensing arm is right there at knee level, and you can take your card right there.
Yes. Great conversation with Island Pay. Great stuff going on. Thank you for the information. And, of course, you're going to be back to tell us more about the great stuff that's happening, I'm sure.
Definitely. Some great things happening over the holidays. And stay tuned. The partnership with Alive is literally alive and well. You'll have great access to some of the promotions coming out of Alive, opportunities to win phones, opportunities to win prizes. And we're looking forward to engaging. This is going to be a great holiday season. And get your app, download it, start using it. And if you want the prepaid card, by all means, just go to our kiosk, buy the card, and you'll be happy with it.
Awesome. Yeah. Jeffrey, thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure being here.
That's our show for the day. Morning Blend Business. On the Clock with Aaron Green is up next. I will be with you again tomorrow. Be good to each other. God bless, and have a great day.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day.